fastest motorcycle riders are about to make Atlanta's Georgia Dome come to life. For 7 weeks, EA Sports Supercross fans have watched their 250 heroes put on some great racing thrills, and last week was no exception. Fans of Laraco and Pastrana may have been disappointed as the night ended early for both. But fans for Villeman and Carmichael watched the chase for the championship heat up. Now, with 3 wins each, the question is, will David Villeman miss any podiums and give Carmichael even a chance to defend his Supercross title? An anticipated 70,000 fans are still filing into the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia, awaiting the 8th round of EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Eckman, along with former champion David Bailey. We're off to the most exciting start in Supercross history, maybe, as Ricky Carmichael, the defending champion with 3 wins, is still 23 points behind David Villeman. Villeman with 3 wins, but he's made every podium in the previous 7 races. Now, the third contender in the group was erased last week in a controversial crash.
Oh, it's too bad. I feel terrible for Mike Laraco. This is what happened. He's going to be going down the left side of the whoops right there in front. Travis Pastrana to his right. He's got to run at him for a block pass at the end, which would have worked. Except Laraco gets a little squirrely, decides to cut to the right to protect that line, contact, and, you know, it was a racing incident. A lot of people placing blame on Travis Pastrana, and I understand that since this kid does the backflip into the Grand Canyon. He's going to get blamed for some of these things, but that was just an unfortunate incident.
Well, not only the Travis Pastrana incident, but also it's been a rough week for Team Sobe Suzuki. Earlier today in practice, Kevin Windham, number 14, went down hard.
This is at the end of a rhythm section. I watched the whole thing. Kevin had a spectacular line where he was only touching through there once, quadrupling twice through there. The last time into the corner came up a little bit short, rode the nose all the way to the berm, and the bike just hit his leg and snapped his femur.
Let's take a look at the Suzuki storyline for the 250s here tonight. Can David Villeman prevent another Carmichael comeback victory string? Will Travis Pastrana turn his fortunes around? And where's McGrath? Can he get his first podium of the season? He's won 5 here in the Georgia Dome. A lot of money at stake here at the halfway point. Davey Combs.
Well, not only is David Villeman trying to hold on to the points lead in EA Sports Supercross here at the Georgia Dome, he's also trying to keep his shot going at $500,000. That's what the Vance Triple Crown of Supercross is worth to the rider who wins all 3 of the designated rounds. David won the first round in Anaheim. He's got to keep it going here at the Georgia Dome. One thing working against him, man, this Georgia clay, this is the kind of dirt that Ricky Carmichael grew up on. Now let's go to David with the Speed Stick track map.
Right off the start, there's a long rhythm section that leads up to the first triple right there in red. First, you got the whoops over here like we do every week. But the difference between this track and all the others is there's another rhythm section here and another one here. Those are going to get full of ruts because of this dirt throughout the night, making that very difficult to do clean every lap.
Checking out the starting lineups now, we've got Ricky Carmichael, the defending champion. Travis Pastrana, his first full 250 season. Jeremy McGrath, former 7-time champion. Damon Huffman, number 20. He won his lone Supercross right here in Atlanta in 1997. Nicholas Way, top privateer. He does not get factory support or a factory salary. That's number 26 on a Yamaha. As we saw, Huffman, number 20. There's Jeremy McGrath, number 2, alongside Sebastian Tortelli. Looking down that starting gate.
Number 690 right there. Yeah, Kenny Bartram, a friend of Travis Pastrana. They do a lot of freestyle together. And Travis will be right there, just at the inside of that starter box.
Clark Stiles, 53. Number 32, Jason Thomas, was an Ironman 2 years ago, where he would qualify for both 125s and 250s.
Shot of Huffman there, number 20. He won this race on a Kawasaki back, I think, 94, somewhere in there. Got the whole shot, went wire to wire.
97.
Well, at least that was in the 90s.
We're sideways, ready to go for our first qualifying round of 250s from Georgia. Jeremy McGrath on the inside. Here comes Carmichael. 3 abreast. Oh, my goodness. Carmichael takes the lead in the first lap. Jeremy, though, not letting up.
This would be a good opportunity for McGrath to study the kids. Jeremy owned this sport for a decade. Carmichael came along and brought intensity and a new style of riding to it. Now Jeremy can take a look at it up close.
Yellow Suzuki, 199. Travis Pastrana moving into third around Jason Thomas as we take a look at Ricky Carmichael and Jeremy McGrath. McGrath has really been stepping it up lately. Let's check all the bikes as they come through the whoops. 199, Travis Pastrana, Tortelli, number 13. There's Rayner, number 17, going by. Huffman, number 20. Number 49, slipping a little bit in last place. That's Keith Johnson from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Now you can see Ricky already starting to open up just enough of a gap that he can go into all these corners wide, take the fastest line. He doesn't have to worry about Jeremy being so close that he's got to protect it.
And there's Travis Pastrana, who really went kind of through an emotional difficulty after that meeting with LaRocco.
Well, you can see LaRocco in the footage from last week, and even a little bit in our show so far here, is LaRocco was so upset with him, and Travis is sick. So is Jeremy. Travis is actually throwing up yesterday. Didn't ride one of the practices. Jeremy just got a head cold. Just doesn't feel good.
Earlier, we saw the LaRocco-Pastrana crash from last week. Well, this is what Travis Pastrana's point of view was.
It was a really, really bad situation. LaRocco came in wide and decided not to jump the jump at the end and jump to the inside. I was the only one that was jumping on the inside and making the inside firm, so he didn't expect it, and I didn't expect him to cut over. You know, obviously there's two completely different views, and it got pretty ugly back in the pits, but you know, I had to go home and got regrouped, and I feel 100% this week. I mean, as far as mentally, now I'm a little down physically, but it's all good.
Here it comes. Pastrana working on Jeremy McGrath. Comes to the inside. McGrath coming back on Pastrana. Travis Pastrana trying to hold him off for second place as Ricky Carmichael takes away there at first. McGrath wants another piece of it. He wants to get back into second.
Well, he's getting schooled a little bit right here. Look at the line of Travis Pastrana. Unbelievable. He gets a little squirrely in the corner at the end, but he went so much faster down the straightaway with that particular timing. He could afford that little mistake and not give up the spot to Jeremy again.
Only the top four qualify directly to the main event. The rest go to the semifinal round. Doesn't matter if you're defending champion or current points leader. You've got to qualify for every main event on the schedule.
Travis just knocking all those tough blocks off the side of the track. And they talk about, is this kid just no brains? Is he just out of control? No, he's aggressive. He's fast. He wants to win. So what if he knocks the hay bale off the side of the track? It doesn't make him crazy. It doesn't make him dangerous. It makes him fast.
Right now it's Carmichael, Pastrana, McGrath, and Sebastian Tortelli in the qualifying position.
Look at this line. Triple over that. He barely made it. This is where his teammate Wyndham going into that corner broke his femur in practice. He was trying a timing through there that was even more spectacular than what Travis and Ricky are doing out front. It didn't pan out. Jeremy's learning a lot right now. Even though this is third, and he's not going to be happy about that. He can learn a little bit from what's going on with Travis. Travis, I think, is going faster than Ricky right now.
Jeremy with only one heat win this year.
See how much different Jeremy puts that whoop section. He came in, he got himself set. Looked like he almost took a deep breath. He can't do that. Travis and Ricky are going into that whoop section like there's no tomorrow.
Travis Pastrana in second place, number 199 in the Sobe Suzuki. Number 2, Jeremy McGrath. McGrath, the most difficult time of his 13 years as a professional Supercross rider. 7 rounds without a win. That equals the longest losing streak at the start of a season for Jeremy. He doesn't want number 8 here in Atlanta. He's had a lot of success here in Atlanta. Second here last year, 5 wins, 94, 96, 98, and 2000.
Travis
98 through 2000, I should say.
The fastest lap on the track, 46 high, and about a half a second faster than what Ricky's turning out front. There's only a couple laps to go. I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch Ricky, but Ricky's going to know when this heat race is over that Travis is faster, and he's sick. Sometimes being sick is a good thing. You focus everything you have on the race instead of the normal routine that can sometimes be termed as a rut. Travis is coming in here with a whole different perspective.
He's had that sinus problem all year.
He may do even better.
Many times athletes who have had the flu or something like in the NBA basketball that I used to cover, and they come out with a slam banging game, because you're right, they focus a little bit harder.
You don't get that luxury week after week, but every now and then you can pull it off.
Tortelli's got his way made here in the final transfer spot, number 4. As you see the yellow or orange button off to the right. Huffman moved up a position, number 20. with the green slate along his number, but that's not going to be enough. As we have the final white flag flying, the final lap underway. And it looks like Carmichael's baby right now. Carmichael just loves this track. He loves the soil. He grew up, of course, in northern Florida. He thought he would have his first 250 win here in Atlanta, as he had his first 125 Supercross professional win ever here in Atlanta. But that didn't come to be. He waited just about a race, I think it was. Daytona?
He had a tough time on a 250 in the beginning, and people are, I think, have already forgotten about how hard it was for him. They just see him, it's so amazing last year, and so far this year is so fast, but for a couple years, man, he had a really tough time, including a foot peg through the skin into his hip bone.
He's the one to beat. Carmichael, the Chuckies, in our first qualifying round of the 250s in Atlanta. Winner 199, second. Number 2 is third, McGrath. And we're looking for number 13 on the red bike. That's the final transfer spot. Sebastian Tortelli, injured at the beginning of the season. This will be only his second main event of the year. A relieved Ricky Carmichael, who ran a perfect race, actually.
All is planned. He plans on getting the start. They set that bike up for the start, and he loves this dirt. The more ruts, the softer and stickier, the better.
Checking out the Honda results page, Nicholas Way, the top privateer, or the rider who gets no factory support, came close. He was in 5th, but he'll have to go to the semifinals along with Jason Thomas, Huffman, Isaiah Johnson, and the others. Second qualifying heat coming up from Atlanta, Georgia in just a moment. EA Sports Supercross is being brought to you by Suzuki, the reigning AMA 125 Eastern Region Supercross and Arena Cross champion. By EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia, where we saw some exciting action early in the first qualifying heat with McGrath and the party, but Carmichael just took over things. So let's check a look now, the lineup sheet for our second qualifier. The points leader, David Villeman. Roncada, who's really been riding aggressively lately. He's got a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the last 3 races. Hometown boy, Ezra Lust. Ernesto Fonseca. He's had a good time of it in a couple of races this year. Privateer, Voss, Wyndham was on the entry list, but he is a scratch for this race, of course, with the broken femur. Kyle Lewis, Tyler Evans, Pavoni. And there's our points leader, David Villeman.
This guy has been a lot more steady than everybody thought, especially Ricky Carmichael. I think he thought, and Honda thought, Ricky was going to bring his dominance from last year into this season. And that went south at the first round. Villeman, after that race, had a 24-point lead on Carmichael. Ricky's only been able to make one of those points up since. There's Stefan Roncada, who's been riding very well lately.
That's what one bad race will do for you, David. I mean, one bad race and you're 24 points down, and now he's 23 points back. Ezra Lust looking at the start now as they're revving up, ready to go. Second qualifying heat underway. Pulling the whole shot. Roncada's right there. Lust is in 3rd. So they break away cleanly. Oh, Roncada runs plastic with Villeman. Aggressive riding.
That was good.
That was a good pass.
That wasn't any kind of weird line like he was doing at Anaheim. That was a good inside, smart move. He caught Villeman just sleeping there on the outside.
Battle for second is on right now. Ezra Lust. He had it for a second, and then Villeman came back on him, David.
You let Roncada get out front here in Atlanta, and he just might be gone. This guy is excellent on this soil.
Check out your favorite riders. They come through the whoops. There's Lust, number 11 on the Kawasaki. Schellenberger, number 659. As we go back to our leader and the second place rider, Ezra Lust. Hey, look at there. Fonseca. He's testing David Villeman for 3rd. Remember, there's only 4 qualifying spots.
Lust starting to gain on his teammate Roncada just a little bit. Good night so far here for Kawasaki up front. Villeman a little bit uncharacteristic of him to have some of these clever moves being put to him. He's usually the one making them. Haven't seen him go backwards like that in the series yet.
Interesting thing, though, Villeman is not known for winning heat races.
The only times he's done poorly in heat races is because he got a terrible start. But I haven't seen him actually start up front and work his way back. It's only a heat race. He can change that in the main, but it's a sign of perhaps things to come with Lusk pretty much being his hometown race, feeling good, starting to find his rhythm and form a little bit last week. And Roncada riding on that confidence still of a couple of podiums and a strong ride last week. Coming up on the whoop section again. Roncada not as fast through there as usual. Lusk running right up on him.
Stefan Roncada, Ezra Lusk, David Villeman, and Ernesto Fonseca right now in the qualifying positions with Tyler Evans, who's riding with a broken collarbone. Here comes Roncada, Lusk going at it. Oh, Ezra Lusk looking back. I got a good feeling for this kid coming back to Georgia.
Roncada tried to jump into that rhythm section a little bit different. He over-jumped it, didn't have the right suspension rebound to clear the next triple, and Lusk was all over it.
His last lap crash last week had Villeman wondering if Ezra thought it was his birthday or something. Ezra's fifth-place finish equaled his best of the year, a fifth in the opener. Let's go to Davey Combs.
Guys, I'm down here with Roger DeCosta. Roger, I know you guys lost Kevin Wyndham today. Have you heard anything from the hospital on his condition?
The femur is broken, but it's a clean fracture, and they should be operating on him right now. So everything is going as good as it can go with a broken femur, you know.
How long do you think he'll be out? What's the prognosis?
Somewhere around 4 months, probably.
Tough break.
That's really too bad. But you know what? And Kevin, looking at the way his season has gone so far, he might be able to look at this injury and go, you know what? Now I can just go get my head right, sort out my personal life, get everything all dialed in, so when he comes back, there's no question about whether he's really into this or not.
This might be interesting. Villeman now is starting to put some pressure on Roncada. Roncada got a good black pass on Villeman to get in front of the Yamaha rider, number 12. There's Lusk, number 11. 21, Roncada. 12, Villeman. Villeman, he presses it big time. Come back is fair play. Oh, Roncada points to him. We got it going now, baby.
Well, I don't think Villeman was too stoked about the way that Roncada was racing against him last week. I didn't see anything wrong with it, really, but I think Villeman might be thinking about, you know what, before this guy does anything else to me, I'm going to let him know right now I'm not going to play that.
Twice, Villeman has said, I don't race dirty, but you're going to do it to me? That really wasn't dirty, but
I
it's
think
comeback time.
We have to assume from Villeman right there, because that was very intentional. He cuts to the inside. He doesn't try to turn. He goes right out there to make contact. Now, Stefan, he's going to come back and want to answer that in the main event. If he gets anywhere near Villeman, we better keep our cameras on those guys, because Stefan has told all of us, he's like, I'm not taking any crud from anybody. I'm going to get out there and race aggressive.
Davey Combs is with Don Worley.
Actually, Dan just flew in, and he's getting ready to give the board to Stefan. But I asked him what he thought about that, and he shook his head. He is not too pleased down here in the mechanics area.
Yeah, but I think when you look at the way Villeman did that, and he's talking to him over and over, said, I don't want to race that way. So he must have had a pretty good reason.
Villeman in second place. Lusk, Villeman, Fonseca, and Roncada is back up in fourth. So he's still in a qualifying position. Heath Voss is on that bubble in fifth with Jean-Sebastien Waugh out of Canada. Blackfoot Honda and James Pomoni. Kyle Lewis. Looks like they'll have to go to the semifinal round.
Both Lusk and Villeman ride through the whoop section a lot faster than Roncada. That's what set up that pass by Villeman. Or I should say takedown. And usually it's Roncada that's fast for the whoop. He's one of the guys that came up with running through there in fourth gear and making up all his time there, and that's where he's losing it tonight.
White flag lap. Look out for the lappers. Lusk doesn't have all that much of a lead on Villeman right now.
He gets through clean. Lappers get out of the way like they should. They know what's going on.
There's your qualifying positions with the yellow arrow. And the final transfer guy, Stefan Roncada, number 21. Doesn't look like he's got the pressure, though, John Sebastian Waugh, who's moved up into fifth.
See if Lusk can hold off Villeman one more time through the whoops. Villeman's been getting a good run through the last half of those. Couldn't do it that time, but that was his greatest opportunity before the checkered flag to get around Lusk. It's not going to happen.
Boy, Lusk looked tough under pressure, didn't he? The checkers for Ezra Lusk, his second heat victory of the year. A good race with Villeman. Now it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the main event. Look out. I wonder if they're going to talk to each other in French or English. Stefan Roncada, number 21. In fourth position.
Well, I don't think Roncada's too pleased about that, but I think he's going to go over and get it from Villeman, and Villeman's going to explain it. I don't think there's... there it is.
I don't think they like each other.
That's apparent. I cannot believe I'm seeing this from David Villeman.
I can't either. He's usually so cool.
Well, I brought up...
Now, where's the AMA? They should have been there when those guys came off the track. Come on, guys. You know that these emotions are running high. You've got to get somebody out there in between them when they come off the track.
Roncada's already been warned by the AMA for the not aggressive riding so much. That's fine, but the style of passes. Some of these guys don't like it. Villeman obviously really didn't like it. He made his point clear.
At least hopefully they don't take it to the pits like the Pastrana affair. Plus, Villeman, Fonseca, and Roncada on their way to the main event. Kyle Lewis, Pavoni, Olhoff, Voss, and others on the way to the semifinals. Well, all kinds of action, not all of it on the track. And we'll be back to Atlanta, Georgia, the Georgia Dome, right after these words.
David Villeman, who captures the checkered flag. David Villeman, his second consecutive victory of the season. Morocco, the checkers.
This is the second round of the Vans Triple Crown here in Atlanta, Georgia. David Villeman winning the round one at Anaheim. He needs a win tonight for a chance at $500,000. Should he win the final round in Las Vegas, win all three Vans races, it means $500,000. Even if he loses one of the races, the two remaining, he still could get the consolation prize of $25,000 going to the rider who scores the most points in the Vans three races. Our rider of the week from EA Sports is Georgia's own Ezra Lusk. And recently we visited with this young man about a number of topics. First up, was he disappointed with last season?
No, not at all. I mean, I was out for a whole year in 2000. And coming back last year was somewhat good. I mean, I had a few bad races, but all in all, at the end of the year, I'd look back and thought that I made a good return. You know, something to work for next year. When I was really young, I was on the swim team, and I was just a little hairier than all the other kids, I guess. And Yogi Bear was my nickname back then, and Yogi stuck ever since. The adrenaline rush, basically. You know, it's different when you're out practicing by yourself doing it, but when you come out and do it in front of 60,000 people with maybe another rider behind you, or nights you know the guys behind you, it's different. I'm pretty worn out from head to toe. I mean, there's not one particular part of you that's sore. And because you use your legs, your upper body, your arms, and mentally you're physically drained. I just want to go out and represent myself well, and Kawasaki well, and Thor, and just win races, you know.
As we take a look at Ezra Lusk's career numbers for 250s, don't forget he also won a 125 race here in Atlanta in 1994 on way to the 125 East Championship. On our Honda close-up today, former champion Jeff Emig pays a visit to the current champion for a closer look at one of the unique pieces of hardware on Ricky Carmichael's bike, number 4.
All right, now back when I used to ride, I used to like to run my bars level with the ground, or even with the forks. But Carmichael, he's got them things way down. Why is that?
Well, Jeff, when I first started, I ran them really high and forward, and just seeing when I got in the 250s and different suspension compared to the 125, I started to roll them back and get them a little lower. It's a little more comfortable for me in the turns, and it seems like the bike's really easy to ride this way.
With most guys, when they run them low like this, their elbows drop. But with you, your elbows seem to stay in the right position.
Yeah, it does. Actually, for me, I would think that if the bars are lower, that your elbows would be easier to keep up, and with them higher, that it would transfer your elbows down. But you know what? I don't know. I just go out there and ride my own style. If my elbows are down, they're down. I'm just trying to win.
The official attendance here at the Georgia Dome, 69,475. Our main event is coming up here at the Georgia Dome. Stay tuned for all the action. We're back in Atlanta, Georgia. The largest crowd ever to see a Supercross in Atlanta. Taking a look at those top 5 guys that came out of the semifinal round to make the 20-rider gate. Don't forget, this is a 20-lap race. Isaiah Johnson, Damon Huffman, a former winner here. Nicholas Way, top privateer. More good privateers coming out of that second one, along with Jeff Gibson, who's qualified for both the 125 and 250s now in 3 consecutive races. The Nissan last chance qualifier, Wall and Prime, round out the gate. Let's check out the starting gate now, the Suzuki starting grid. As they're lined up at the gate, Ricky Carmichael, the defending champion, the local hero, Lust. Pastrana, he's been fast in qualifying. Villeman, the points leader, 7-time champion McGrath. His first year in 250s, Fonseca, Tortelli, Roncada. At the end of heat number 2, watch what happened.
This was Villeman, just a retaliation from the block pass that Roncada put on him in the beginning. It wasn't that bad, but Roncada didn't like it. He rode up to say, hey, what was that for? And Villeman goes, hey, I'll tell you what that was for, man. I got 500 grand on the line tonight. I got the title in my hip pocket if I can stay away from you.
How does this affect now things for the 250 main? Does it fire him up even more?
Well,
or does he lose focus?
I've been in that ridiculous situation before, and it messes with your focus. You try to go out there and overcompensate for that. Beyond these guys, I'll tell you what, Villeman, he's been able to focus before, but that's got to be on his mind and Roncada's. And RC has been unbelievable in this building all weekend. There he is. But Travis Pastrana has shown me that he's got the speed to beat him. McGrath has won here 5 times, and Ezra got his second heat race win here, and this is his hometown race.
The first rider over the white line, just out of the first turn, wins the $1,500 Powerade Hole Shot Award. Who will get the $1,500? Don't forget, a hole shooter has not won a race this year. We're ready to go for the main event from Atlanta, Georgia. A great start by number 4, Carmichael. Carmichael gets the Powerade Hole Shot Award.
And Pastrana's with him.
Pastrana right there, and David Villeman in third. Villeman bar to bar with Pastrana for second.
Villeman tried to get in there and put a little bump on Pastrana to get right up into second right away, and it ruined his timing, and then Fonseca slipped in there.
Now the key is Pastrana's been making a few mistakes right there. Can Carmichael pull away and make it a runaway here in Atlanta, like he did in his heat race?
Well, I think Travis is going to try to keep him honest. And Travis is so much faster through the whoops. Oh, my goodness. He just made up 10 bike links right there.
There's Roncada, Waugh, and the rest of the field as they go through the whoop section. Pastrana trying to hold on to Ricky Carmichael, but David Villeman back in third. Could this be Villeman's 8th straight podium? The 3 are pulling away from Jeremy McGrath.
Lust tangled, looked like maybe on the ground there. That's Fonseca. Yeah, it is, 24, and Jason Thomas, so there goes Lust's chances. And Fonseca was up into third at one point. Now he's going to have to come from behind. Too bad. Second place last week, and he was in contention here. He had the speed.
Ezra looked so good in qualifying, too.
Villeman behind Pastrana right here. There he is. He just went over the triple at the approach of this loop section to look behind him, and it's a huge gap back to McGrath.
Is he playing it cool? Like a last lap pass, maybe? We've seen already this year. Villeman's in great shape.
He's in great shape as far as where he sits on the racetrack. He's got a big gap, like I said, back to fourth. Doesn't have to worry about pressure, but what he's got to worry about is how fast Carmichael and Travis are going. If he wants that Vans Triple Crown $500,000, he's got to get on it now. For the championship points, He really needs to get up there and not let Ricky chip 5 more off of it.
Also, it's the Clear Channel mid-season points fund of $100,000. I believe $15,000 goes to the rider who's #1 in points at the halfway mark, and that's at the end of this race. So Villeman, a lot of money on the line for him as we take a look at the 4th place rider, Jeremy McGrath. Could this be his best finish of the year? His best so far is a 6th. Tortelli, number 13. Roncada, number 21.
Tortelli, since his return, has just been getting great starts. And all of his heat races, the preliminary qualifiers, he's been hole-shotting. The second main here, he's running up front again.
You're absolutely right about Villeman. He's now dropped to 5.5 seconds behind the leader, Carmichael.
This is not a disaster in terms of the championship, but it is 5 points. And that'll get it down underneath 20, and then Villeman might have to start racing a little bit different, worrying about not losing this title instead of doing what's worked so well for him. Even if he just stays where he's at and he's got no pressure, it doesn't look like he's going to get any either. He'll keep that streak, that podium alive, but 5 points is 5 points. Ricky knows that's all he needs to pick up in the next 4 or 5 rounds, and this is the battle.
Villeman, it appeared to me, David, you might correct me on this, will race for the win if he's in good position, but he goes for the podium otherwise.
Well, he's not out of this by any means. He's staying pretty close to these guys, but he's going to wait till about halfway and see what happens. Get into the lap riders, the track gets more rutted, the lines change, and that's when he gets good.
Ricky Carmichael through the whoops, coming right at you. And he's getting a bigger lead on Travis Pastrana. Travis Pastrana really having trouble working out during the week. There's no question about that. He's got a sinus problem now.
Oh, Ricky just about went down. We've seen that so many times. And that's a sign that he's pushing hard. He got in there and just tried to make that corner. It was actually riding above the ability of the motorcycle. That shows you how hard he's pushing it. Travis is close enough to take advantage of one of those should Ricky go down.
Carmichael has posted 4 podiums in 4 races, including 3 wins, while leading 46 of the 89 laps in those 4 races. Here's Pastrana.
He's still in this, but I think he might be losing just inches on Ricky and losing a little bit of time to Villeman now. So Villeman might become more of a problem for Pastrana, but I think right now, with as sick as he is, he'd be happy to finish on the podium, Art, especially after the way last week went.
He's already got 2 second-place finishes along with a 3rd. Let's go to Davey down the trackside.
Guys, let me give you an indication of how bad Travis felt earlier today. For the first time that I can remember, he did not do an autograph session. Travis, always a fan favorite. Also, when they did the opening ceremonies, he did not participate in the parade lap. His mom said he was trying to save every ounce of energy that he had for this 20-lap main event.
Ian Harrison. Let's listen to Suzuki Radio.
Tortelli. Not behind us, Skip. Not behind us. Got to have to think ahead, please. Give me a split to Tortelli. I got David.
49.9.
3.3 to Tortelli.
Travis goes off the track.
Travis is off the track, and he's riding.
You know what? I think he has taken himself out of this event. I saw him starting to look a little shaky. I think he has taken himself out of this race before he becomes a danger to himself or, more importantly, others.
Well, that's probably a good decision since he's not contending for a title. Come back strong. As the Suzuki crew runs to see what the problem is, Ricky Carmichael is way out in front right now, with David Villeman now in 2nd place. Jeremy McGrath is in 3rd. Can they hold on to that position? We'll be right back to Atlanta, Georgia, right after these important words. Ricky Carmichael has dominated this race from the very start.
The only rider that had the speed to challenge him was Travis Pastrana, and he just exited the course.
He's coming up on the lapper, number 247, Tyler Evans, out of Canyon Lake, California, on the Husqvarna, passed by Faraci.
Ricky over that little rhythm section, triples in the air, pulls 2 tearaways. Looked like at least one. It took him 2 tries to get it. It's not in the air for very long. That's a tricky section full of ruts. Ricky not afraid to land with one hand on the bar.
Billiman a faster lap time in the last lap than Ricky Carmichael. He's trying to catch up. There in second place. Boy, would that be something if we could get a 1-against-1 duel for the win here in Atlanta.
A 6-second lead is pretty tough to make up at this point in the race, but it's only halfway. There's still time. You can see Billiman look over at Ricky coming the other way through the whoop section. Billiman is mad. I think everyone can see that. He wants that $500,000. It's got to be on his mind.
Yeah, when James Stewart, when you ask James Stewart off mic, you know, would you be thinking of it? What'd he say?
He goes, shoot ya, $500,000. If you're not thinking about it, you ain't right.
You ain't right. That's exactly what he said. David Billiman in second place now, trying to catch up on the very fast and dominant Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael just trying to get back within shooting range of David Billiman in the points race to defend his title.
The best thing Billiman can do right here is just continue to ride as fast as he can, keep jumping everything, no major mistakes, and just be there. You know, force Ricky's mechanics. Chad Watts, if you're looking, keeping tabs on Billiman, maybe not letting Ricky know about it, but at least be a little bit concerned about the guys still being back there. Force Ricky to ride a perfect race. It's only 3 points now in terms of the championship. It looks like if he can't hang on to it, that Van Triple Crown money's gone, but I think the title is probably more important. Jeremy doing a good job here.
Don't forget, you can hear these races live on the webcast, ESPN.com.
Jeremy actually has a shot at catching Billiman.
Wouldn't that be something?
I think he's starting to feel good, and you can see a little bit of spunk in his cornering, the way he's jumping through the sections. Look at how rutted that is. Just unbelievable. When you get to see that view of what the riders are seeing through those loops, I'm glad I'm up here, Art. Those things are bad enough without a rudder.
Great shot. Yes, you could just see how dangerous those whoops were and why things happen like they do. Let's go to Davey.
I tried to run out and find out exactly what happened to Travis Pastrana. He went right by me. He looked awful. I talked to one of the Suzuki guys. I think this is the same situation we had at the 125 National in Millville last year, where he just didn't feel like he could go 100%. So Travis decided to pull out that flu bug, DNF'd him tonight.
Well, when I heard that he didn't go to the autograph session, I knew it had to be serious. And I don't mean that joking around. That's Travis. I mean, the only way you can get Travis out of this building after the race is because the security guard comes up and goes, hey, look, we got to turn off the lights now. We got to lock the door to the stadium. You have to go home. He's the last guy to leave the stadium all the time. He loves doing that. And it takes a lot to make him walk away and avoid signing autographs and being with the people.
So Ricky Carmichael with those low handlebars just continues to rip away as we take a look now at the top privateer this year, number 26, Nick Way. Way didn't have a ride in the last few minutes of the off season, and he's in a hot race for the top privateer in points. Now, a privateer means you don't get factory support. You don't have a factory salary. You got to take it out of your own paycheck or your parents or somebody else's. You're out there fighting for sponsorships every week. And Way and Voss in that hot battle, it means a lot. It could be worth $25,000 in the Clear Channel Privateer bonus fund as well. Nick Way has won over $7,000 just making the main events as a privateer. So congratulations to these guys. Lewis, Waugh, Voss, and Way. 3 of the 4 have made every main event this year. And as injuries pile up like Wyndham's today, more privateers will get into the field.
And look who Carmichael is about to lap. Ezra Lusk. Carmichael won his heat. Ezra Lusk won his. Had a chance here to get up front. I didn't think he was quite fast enough to challenge Ricky, but definitely good enough for a podium. And that crash on the first lap took him out of the race.
Less than 5 laps to go for number 4 on the Team Honda, Ricky Carmichael. Check out the third here in Atlanta, Georgia. Villeman in second. He would lose 3 points to Carmichael if it finishes this way. But McGrath is headed toward his first podium. We'll be right back to Atlanta's Georgia Dome in a moment. We're back in Atlanta, Georgia, where Ricky Carmichael is dominating this 250 main event. He considers this his home track, I think, more than any other.
And he's about to lap Nick Way. That means he's lapped up to 9th. Chad Watts giving him the board. Probably just a big smiley face on there. What else can he put on there? That's just 2 wins in a row now, chipping away a few more points off Villeman's lead, so it'll be 20 when they leave here.
If Villeman stays away from mistakes, that means 8 straight podiums. And here's number 2, Jeremy McGrath, in his 102nd consecutive start, is looking for his first podium finish of the year. You know, this guy's only missed 1 round since 1993, and that's when he sat out Vegas because the lights went out.
Well, he and quite a few others, so still gets that. We'll give it to him, that award of consecutive races. It's been amazing that he's, you know, there's a new style of riding. And it's a lot more aggressive, a lot more intense. You got to take more chances. And Jeremy's just not willing to do that. And that's why he can ride for so long and have a line going 2 times around the pit area from people that want to see the guy. He's been there for so long.
Let's face it, too.
They're not quite ready, I don't think, the fans, to just give up on Jeremy McGrath and embrace Carmichael. And I think that might be part of the reason for some of the crazy receptions he's been getting throughout the season.
Something's been tickling my brain for several weeks now. If something happens to Jeremy McGrath, Bud Light doesn't get to the gate, the whole team goes down the tubes. Don't you think he might have been a little conservative, just keeping that bike on the grid?
Well, there's a lot on his shoulders, but you know, I was very much privy to what Jeremy did to get himself into better shape. Here's a guy that's got 7 championships, 72 wins, and he decided, you know what, I want to step it up. And so when I saw him do it and go through that transformation, the same way Ricky did the year before, I thought, way to go, and I wanted to see him do well. When he wasn't, I was kind of disappointed. But now I look at Jeremy and just go, you know what? This guy's incredible. Bud Light made a great choice by picking him
Absolutely.
up. He's the most popular rider in the pits. I think they're giving away free beer over there. So get a ticket and go see Jeremy ride before it's too late.
Checking out the Honda stopwatch now, the differences between Carmichael and David Villeman in the last lap.
Villeman is doing the smart thing. He's not going to catch Ricky. He's not going to lose it to Jeremy so long as he just rides steady.
All he can hope for now is to put himself in good position for the most points in the 3 Triple Crown, Vans Triple Crown, because he ain't going to win the $500,000.
Well, you know, the consolation prize there is, I think, 25 grand. That's nice. That's a car. Not that he needs one. These guys get everything free anyway. 1 more lap.
Final lap of our 20-lap main event from Atlanta, Georgia, and it's been a breeze for number 4, Ricky Carmichael, who's starting another win streak. He won Phoenix and Anaheim 3. Then Villeman came back for an important win. He won the last week in Minneapolis and is putting another one back-to-back here in Atlanta.
Now, he keeps on winning like this, Art, and grabs another title, wins outdoors again. It won't be long before people give him the same kind of appreciation and embrace him the same way they have Jeremy. But Jeremy's been at this for a long time. It was tough for people to give up on Dale Earnhardt when Jeff Gordon came into the picture. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he goes, you know, Carmichael's a lot like Jeff Gordon when he came in and started beating Earnhardt. It'll be a while before people warm up to him, but they will.
Celebrating number 4, looking at the checkered flag, his 19th career victory, his 4th of the year, Ricky Carmichael. He's now tied with Damon Bradshaw for 5th on the all-time 250 Supercross win list. 2nd, number 12, Villeman. And 3rd, McGrath's first podium since round 16, May 5th, last year, where he was 2nd in Las Vegas. So a big anvil is lifted from Jeremy McGrath, who gets his first podium of the year. And Ricky Carmichael is back on track as he picks up 3 more points on David Villeman. Checking out the Honda results page. Carmichael, Villeman, McGrath on the podium. That'll be a great podium. I can hardly wait. Tortelli, Roncata in 5th. Voss, the top privateer, all the way up into 6th. Former Atlanta winner Damon Huffman in 7th. We'll be right back to hear words of wisdom from these riders right after this. EA Sports Supercross has been brought to you by Suzuki, the reigning AMA 125 Eastern Region Supercross and Arena Cross champion. Speed Stick, power of nature for protection that smells good. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Before the largest Supercross crowd in Atlanta history, Ricky Carmichael dominates. He's with our Davey Combs.
Well, Ricky, it looks like you got yourself another little winning streak started, 2 in a row, and what a dominating performance.
Well, I'll tell you, Davey, I'd like to think so. The Honda was working good. The Dunlop tires were hooking up, man. I don't know, something was just clicking for me today. I don't know if it's being in this dome, I really like it, but man, I am so happy. You know, I need to keep winning, and I'll be glad to go to Daytona with 2 wins under my belt, definitely.
Fantastic ride, Rick.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
On the Honda point standings, Ricky Carmichael whittles a little more away from Villeman's points lead. Is down to 20 points right now. Villeman is 8th podium in 8 races. And David Villeman and Jeremy McGrath with David.
Well, David, once again, you finished second. A very good ride, but Carmichael got just a few more points on you.
Yeah, Ricky rode a great race, and he got our shot. And, you know, I think it was a little bit faster tonight. And, you know, to save a second place for me tonight is very good. And no championship is still very long, and I think it's going to be very tough for the nerves. And, you know, I'm ready for it. So I just need to be in front of Ricky a few more times.
Very nice ride tonight. And Jeremy, welcome back to the podium. It's good to have you on the box again.
It's been a long drought. Thanks a lot, Davey. It's first of all, I'd like to thank my team. Bud Light Yamaha has really been behind me. My mom, my dad, my sister, my trainer Todd, Larry, especially Brian, Skip, everyone at Team Yamaha. You know, they've been behind me, and I've had a rough couple months here, and I'm very happy to be up here.
Always a pleasure to have you up here, Jeremy.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
The beat goes on. RC provides us with a dramatic comeback for the second half of the season. Our next telecast coming to you from the Superdome in New Orleans. Both the 125s and the 250s. Coming up, it'll be the 125s from the Georgia Dome. Art Eckman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs, thanking you for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, tune in to ESPN.com. EA Sports Supercross fans know how to have fun, and they've had a ball watching their racing heroes the past 2 weeks. As the 125 East class has truly become a 125 international class, last week it was 1, 2, 3 for an Australian, South African, and young Frenchman. In fact, the Aussie is dominating the American riders and everyone else as they move on to Atlanta. A sold-out Georgia Dome in Atlanta awaits the 3rd round of the 125 East action. It's EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Eckman along with former champion David Bailey. The 125 West had 4 different winners in 5 races, all U.S. citizens. The 125 East is a lot different. We had an Aussie on the top step, Chad Reed. He's dominated the first 2 rounds.
Well, Chad is unbelievable. He was fast on a 250, and he's proving all that skill and speed here on the 125. With that 254 stroke, he has an advantage with his skill, coupled with that bike. It's going to be tough to catch. Minneapolis last week, he came in with a groin pull, pulled away from the field. There was a battle back there behind him, Langston and his teammate Boniface. Boniface looked like he let Langston by, and Langston is going to need all the help he can get to catch up to Reed.
Right after the lad from down under, we had Langston, a South African, and then Boniface, a Frenchman, on the podium.
Well, there's the pass, or I guess you could call that more of a gift on Boniface's part, but, you know, I think that KTM understands who's got the better chance of winning this championship.
Let's take a look now at the Suzuki storyline. Can the Americans step it up and prevent an all-green card podium? Can Reed continue to dominate? Is Steve Boniface for real? Let's check in with the 3rd member of our broadcast crew, Davey Combs.
Well, Art, I can tell you one big reason why you haven't seen an American in the winner's circle yet, and that's because the best young American prospect, 16-year-old James Stewart, is sitting in the grandstands for the 125 West region. Now, although that Stewart hails from Florida, he was able to choose which region he wanted to ride in. Stewart chose the West. That leaves 28-year-old journeyman Mike Brown is the American with the best chances of winning this title. After all, Brown is our U.S. national motocross champion. He's going to beat Reed. He's going to have to pick it up right now here at the Georgia Dome. Now let's go to David with our Speed Stick track map.
Right off the start, they get a difficult rhythm section all the way up to the first triple. Another rhythm section right here, and another one before they cross the starting line before the mechanics area. That's the sections I really expect to see a lot of passes here tonight, not just the whoops like we've seen in the past.
We've got a stacked starting lineup with the American hope, second in points, Michael Brown, Steve Boniface from France, Schnell, a two-time winner, Langston, he's a one-time career winner in 125 action, John Dowd, who's 36 years old with 7 wins, Brandon Jessman, he's fast, Joshua Woods, he got his best performance in 8th in Minnesota last week. Jeff Gibson, he's going for another Ironman performance. He wants to qualify not just for this 125 race, but also for the 250s. The board is still up now. The 30-second board, when it goes sideways, we will have from 5 to 10 seconds, and the gate will drop. It is sideways. The revving starts. The top 9 qualify for the main event. Doesn't matter if you're a points champion or not. You've got to qualify.
You see everybody get pushed wide in that first corner. Ryan Clark didn't get the best start, but he's in good shape right here.
The guy who did get the start is Boniface, number 36. Mike Brown in second place, number 3.
See how wide that corner is. Clark trying to decide, let's see, what should I do? Should I take the inside or should I go wide? He decided to do a little bit of both to protect, keep from getting blocked past.
He must be inspired with that helmet cam. Number 54 of LCH Racing Yamaha has moved into 3rd. But check out the entire field. There's Brown, number 3. Brian Clark, 54, battling it out for 3rd, and Langston in 5th.
Not the kind of start he needed. 33 Schnell just now going by. He's had a tough time getting up to what I believe is his potential.
Michael Ivers in last place there out of Ohio as we go back to our leader, Mike Brown, trying to chase down Steve Boniface.
Boniface is operating on a whole new level of confidence now after that run last week up front. He's probably wondering, man, why did I let my teammate by so easy? I could have stayed in second.
He's really getting his chance this year after being injured last year. Coming off his very first podium, that 3rd in Minnesota.
Ryan Clark getting sandwiched. He's still got Langston behind him. We're beating Langston right now. Here comes the triple.
Great shot. We're right on the bike of Brian Clark.
I expect to see, there goes Langston. He went to the inside, tried to make a block pass. The hard part about...
Oh, just barely got by the bike. And Ryan Clark gets hung up.
He got free. But he got hung up there for a minute. It looked like...
Was it Curry?
Yeah, it looked like Paul Curry. Brown still not really able to do much with Boniface. He's not able to get close enough in these corners to put a block pass. They're coming into another wide open corner here. And Boniface could just take the fastest line.
There's Langston looking back.
He's actually looking over at the leaders going down the next straightaway right here. You see he'll triple this, a little double, then they jump up onto that platform right there to go wide. That allows them to jump up onto that next big platform. A little double before the triple, and this sets it all up for the whoops. Langston goes to the inside.
Langston moving into 8th, so he's in a good qualifying position, but he's certainly like a better choice of gate and move up that ladder.
Well, I think tonight we saw that from Ryan Clark's start. He went into the corner about mid-pack, but because he was on the inside, he came out in pretty good shape, and I think everyone's going to realize that and hog the inside.
Langston moves up the ladder. He's expected to be a force in this championship race, but he found himself in a catch-up mode that leaves no room for mistakes this year. A DNF but no points from the opening round. So that meant he was 25 points behind Chad Reed immediately. Here's the battle for first place. Mike Brown to the inside of the Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Number 3 going against Boniface on the KTM, number 36.
Now, he was trying to create something there, but he ended up giving up some time. He couldn't jump the triple. But we'll see him catch right back up to Boniface. He's starting to get impatient now. He got comfortable with the first few laps. He's going, all right, that's what he's doing there. Okay, let's go to work. He's going to start applying the pressure, and that'll change the way Boniface races. He already had to go to the inside there to protect. So
Here
he's in
comes
defensive.
Brown. Oh, and Boniface just gets by him. A crowd pleaser, that move.
Steve having to ride a lot more defensive now. That plays into the hands of Brown. See what they do in this corner here. Boniface cutting off that inside line as they approach the turn to take away any pass opportunities. See the ruts starting to develop in all these jumps and make them even harder about halfway through the race. That section right there, Brown just made a pass for the lead.
So Ryan Clark on the bubble as far as qualifying is concerned. If you don't make the top 9, you've got one more chance to make the 22-rider main event as the white flag comes out. That means final lap here in this 125 qualifier.
Nice move by Brown into the lead, a simple block pass. I thought he was going to do it in one of these couple of corners here. We'll stay with him and see where he made that pass, but now you can see him already opening up the gap a little bit. So he is faster than Boniface. This is where he set himself up for the pass moments ago, to that inside right there. See how Boniface is going wide? He can jump up on the plateau. It doesn't matter if you've got somebody that cuts you off before you get there. That's what Brown did.
Brown looking to get back in the championship hunt right now. Well, here comes Boniface. Wants the challenge, but Brown holding on. Look at those piston-like movements with those arms through the whoops.
That whoop section is the first one I've seen all year where the 125s couldn't eventually just stay on the tops the way they would on a 250. You guys are having to jump through there.
The checkers. Mike Brown winning his second qualifying heat in 3 races this year. Here comes Ryan Clark. Check him out on the rhythms.
See him up there listed in 10th. He's going to miss qualifying for this main event by 1 spot. We'll make that 2. There goes.
That's Greg Schnell, 33.
I keep getting Schnell mixed up.
Clark goes to the LCQ where they'll pick 4 riders. The top 4 riders out of the LCQ will finish out the 22-rider gate for the 125s. The Honda results page now. Michael Brown, Boniface, Grant Langston, Jeff Gibson has qualified for the 125s. He has qualified for both the 125s and 250s the last 2 weeks. He is the Ironman of the year. Ryan Clark and the rest goes on to the LCQ. Well, what a way to start our racing here in Atlanta's Georgia Dome. We'll be right back. EA Sports Supercross is being brought to you by Suzuki, the reigning AMA 125 Eastern Region Supercross and Arena Cross champion. By EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Oh, the fans here at the Georgia Dome love motorcycle racing since 1977, the Supercross here in Atlanta. Let's go to Davey.
Well, Mike, that was a fantastic ride. Great battle with Steve Boniface.
Yeah, it was good. You know, we both got good starts, and, you know, he's riding really good. And, you know, I think I could have made a few more passes on him, but, you know, it's hard to get around him out there. And, no, I felt good. I felt like I had a couple more laps in me really good, so that's good for the main event. And my Kawasaki Pro Circuit Bridgestone bike is really good.
I know you grew up on dirt like this in Tennessee. Can you beat Chad Reed tonight in the Georgia Dome?
I hope so. If I can get a good start with him, I think it'd be a good race. You know, last week I got held back a little bit and just started riding that base race, and I hope so. You know, I feel like I can go the speed and distance, so just get a good start with him.
So far, so good.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
And the lineup now for the second qualifying heat of our 125s. We look down at Brandon Butler from Gainesville, Florida. Let's check out their list. Reed, the points leader. Larry Ward, former 250 rider. Buddy Antonez, a 5-time Arena Cross champion. Kelly Smith from out of Michigan. Robbie Horton, he's trying for his 3rd main event in 3 races. Harley, Hadsel, Summy. Keith Johnson of the Boston Johnsons from Pembroke, Massachusetts. As adverse to the Johnsons from New Mexico, as we take a look now at the 3-digit numbers trying to make the 22-rider gate here for the 125s in Atlanta, Georgia. Many riders have been successful here in Atlanta. breaking loose their Supercross careers. There's number 100, Buddy Antunez. Number 10, Larry Ward. 103, Chad Reed. It'll be an interesting start process here. Antunez, a very good starter in arena cross. Larry Ward, a good Supercross starter his entire career. It's sideways. They're revving up. The top 9 qualify for the main event. Our second qualifier is underway. Chad Reed. He takes over the lead.
Johnny Marley going down to the first corner. He got tangled. Everyone's trying so hard to get that inside spot. Marley got left behind, and Reed once again is right where he wants to be.
Michael Blows is looking for his second main event qualification. He's in second place. He's out of Phoenix, Arizona on an American Suzuki. Oh! Was that close that went down as Chad Reed looks behind him to see the carnage.
Keith Johnson, I believe, going down. So now he gets the dice with Johnny Marley back in the pack. Looks like they're going to have to go to the last chance qualifier.
Check out and find your favorite rider now as they go through the loop section. 34, that was Kelly Smith.
Here comes Marley. He's the one that went down before the first corner.
Ripple, number 324, out of Crown Point, Indiana, as we pick up our leader once again. This guy just looks too strong for this field. And he is serious when he says he believes having to ride a 125s to go through the process of his Supercross career here in America, he's actually having to take a step backwards because he's run 250s all of his life in Australia. They have no professional class in the 125s in Australia.
Well, he wants to race against the best guys, and he already proved that he can run with them by riding a few of the 120 or the 250 West Coast races, finishing up in the top 5 there. A serious contender in that class. So he had to step back. I don't think he means it condescending towards his competition. It's just he really wants to ride a 250.
A great battle for second place underway. Davey, can you see it?
Well, I can. It's Buddy Antunez. He's got Larry Ward right on him. But I want to talk about Chad Reed for 1 second. You guys, yesterday he got in behind Ricky Carmichael in a 250 practice. Now Reed is riding a YZ 250F 4-stroke, which is legal for the 125 class. But honest to goodness, I think this guy could get top 5 in the 250 class on that bike he's riding tonight.
Well, Reed certainly proved he could do well in the 250s because he started out west, you might recall, David Bailey, with a 6th, a 5th, and an 8th before that shoulder injury in practice, and he decided to lay off and get ready for this 125 season.
Yeah, so we're looking at a guy who looks flawless so far in this 125 East, who's had problems. He had a shoulder injury, as you just pointed out, a pulled groin at the last round, which is still not 100%. He hasn't been able to get into the regular routine that he would like to. And it just doesn't show out there. The guy doesn't make mistakes. He takes the right line, the right choice through the option sections, and keeps getting the starts he needs. 1
year in the GPs in Europe, and he placed second in the 250s, the World Championships. Then he decided, hey, I'm ready for America. So he's already lapping a rider right now. That's Keith Johnson, who was mentioned before, number 38.
Smart choice of lines down that the last rhythm section where Brown was able to take the lead in heat 1. He stayed in the middle of the straightaway till the very end to avoid all the ruts that are starting to develop.
This has got us set up some great thoughts, some great fantasies as we've got James Stewart. We hope he comes up to the booth during the 125 main event. We're hoping he can. Here's Buddy Antunez coming through the whoops, having a little bit of trouble. Larry Ward, though, quite a ways behind him. But back to the topic. James Stewart versus Chad Reed, a 16-year-old versus this kid from Australia. That's going to be a great one in that East-West Dave Coon shootout in Las Vegas. May 4th, that's live pay-per-view.
I think a lot of people agree, and I do too, that Stewart may have a little more speed, but it doesn't matter if he's having to come from behind or if he falls down. You can't afford any of those mistakes against Chad Reed.
Reed, Antunez, Ward, Summy is also now in 4th position. Kelly Smith moving up to 6th.
I used to race against Josh Summey's dad. Boy, am I getting old. That's Josh right there leading this pack in the white, number 267.
Robbie Horton cutting to the inside.
Had a chance to take a look at the practice track with Josh Summey. That's where Larry Ward rides. These guys are ready for this week. I think they were going to build their whoops a lot bigger so he could start getting through that section like he can everywhere else on the track.
The yellow tags on the right mean they're in qualifying position. You see Dagner and the rest of the group will have to go to the LCQ if they can't make a move here in the last lap.
see how much of a difference there is in pace and technique for the whoop sections when you go to the back marker guys. We go back up front to Chad Reed. It all looks pretty easy. I mentioned last week how similar he looks to McGrath. I'll tell you what, you put a number 2 on this guy, and you almost can't tell them apart.
But you know, the young riders of today are coming with much more corner speed. We see a lot more guys hitting the dirt, but the corner speed is much different than the McGrath days, where he was very precise in cutting those corners. The checkers for Chad Reed. Reed now has 2 heat victories in qualifying in the 3 rounds we've had so far. Buddy Antunez in second place. And 184 is Dagner. Dagner in the 10th spot as Chas Reed, no relation to Chad, I believe edged him at the checkered flag for that final qualifying position. Let's check the Suzuki results page and see if he did get that 9th position or not, as it's Chad Reed, Antunez, and Ward, which we would expect. Robbie Horton, a veteran in this class, number 355, don't let it fool you. Summy in 5th. And checking out the 6 through 9. Buddy Antunez. It'll be interesting hearing his words of wisdom and a little feature on Buddy when we come back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. Taking a look at our upcoming events, some of the most famous domes in the world are coming up next. New Orleans, Houston, the Rams home in St. Louis, and the Pontiac Silver Dome. Our Davey Coombs is with our heat winner now, Chad Reed. Davey?
Chad, I got to tell you, you just seem to be getting better and better on that YC250F.
It seems like, every weekend I go home, I ride during the week, and, just more time on the bike, I get, more comfortable, and, I really enjoy riding that bike. It's a fun bike to ride, and, I'd like to thank Yamaha for giving me the chance to ride that bike, Yamaha Troy for the great team, Boost Mobiles for, the free phones, everybody for, helping me out.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Our rider of the week from EA Sports is a veteran racer and arena cross champion. Buddy Antunez has been turning more than a few heads these past 2 weeks as he visited with our Jeff Emmy.
The obvious, Buddy, is you had 5 arena cross championships in a row, 107 wins. Why come to 125 Supercross?
Well, I won 5 championships, and arena cross was great for me to revive my career. Got me a lot of respect with everybody, Suzuki, everything, and as far as an athlete, I just wanted to try something different and try to improve and go after a 125 championship.
What sort of adjustments have you had to make from riding the arena cross, which is about 500 main events a year, to a 7-race 125 East Coast Supercross?
I made a lot of adjustments. When I first decided to do this deal back in June, I knew it was going to take a lot of dedication and more out of me than I've put in probably my whole career to make the jump back to Supercross and do it right. So I worked on a lot of things. I had to work on my whoop speed, my turn speed, my endurance. We run a lot longer here in Supercross than in arena cross. I've worked on all aspects: speed work, endurance, skills. I try to readjust my whole program.
I've seen a huge difference in your maturity, your training, your dedication to racing as your job, your sport. The work that you put into it is night and day difference.
Back when I had my daughter back in '95, I realized that, God, I got another mouth to feed, and I got to be focused at this. This is the real deal. This is how I make my living. This is what I know. I think the older you get, the easier it is to focus on finer things, being fit, being ready to do your job on the weekend, and that leads to having fun on motorcycles.
Our Honda close-up today involves several riders and a puzzling question. After last week's all-international podium, hey, just where have the Americans been?
There's a lot of foreigners doing really well this year, and I think most of that is the fact that they've all been either training in America, doing races, or, they've moved over here and racing. So it's not just an American championship anymore. It's more like a world championship out there.
For a lot of years now, I think everyone's kind of looked at, American Supercross as, as like the championship to be in or whatever, as far as Supercross goes. And maybe it's just a lot of them guys are starting to practice and want to come here and race for this title.
It just shows that the internationals that really want to, be good, and America's the place to, to show your skills, because, it's the toughest country to get into, and the riders are, it just shows that everyone's here.
I think everyone's just really pumped to come over here and ride US Supercross Series. Everyone's really excited, and I think they're putting in 110% effort.
Take a lap now to see what it looks like on board with Ryan Clark.
Running all the way down the inside. You see the pack come in from the outside. It's easy to catch one of those guys' back tires and high side if you're not careful. All the way through the rhythm section on the inside. You can see he didn't get the best start, but he came out in good shape just because he was able to let everybody kind of go wide and take advantage of that inside line he had. Different timing through here. He picks up another rider. So we're in third. We're looking good. Mike Brown right up ahead of us. Ryan jumps up onto that plateau. Little double here before the triple. Doesn't triple it. Brown didn't triple it. I don't think Clark felt comfortable with tripling it. So look what happens. He gets the block pass. Looks like he gets the spot back. But those whoops, there's no way to show how hard those are in person. One more rhythm section before they cross the starting line. They'll get the signal board from the mechanics right there on the right side. Try to read that. Big double jump over the finish line and back around, do it all over again.
Unfortunately, all that work, and Ryan didn't make the main event. 69,475 fans want to know, will the mate from down under prevail? Welcome back to a packed Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia, everyone. Art Eckman, David Bailey, Davey Combs, and join John Kernan for the fastest half hour in television. It's RPM tonight, weeknights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Let's take a look at the Nissan last chance qualifier results. Adams and Andrich get their first main event try of the year. Mertens and Curry, it'll be their second out of the 3 races. Joining us in the booth for our 125 race here in the Eastern Division is the 125 West points leader, the very dynamic 16-year-old. I haven't said that much about 16-year-olds, David Bailey. But joining us is, of course, James Stewart. James, congratulations on the start of your professional career.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I mean, so far, it's been going pretty good. I had a little bobble in that last race, but before that, it was going good.
Checking out the highlights, it was a rather interesting start, as we will see here in the first round.
Yeah, the first round I was a little over anxious right there. In San Diego, when I came across the finish line, I wanted to cry. Anaheim 3, I think I set a record right here from getting the whole shot to going last the quickest. But I rode good that race. I came up to second, felt good. Here in Phoenix, I had a little bobble right here, sliding out, but I just got up, got my composure back, and just did that over the finish line.
And really, the last race was a tough one for you.
Yeah, I got tangled up here with Danny Smith, and see that kid's looking back and get you in this kind of trouble right here. And it's kind of my fault. I got up and I had my chest protector, my handlebar stuck in my chest protector, and I was trying to get it out, but I was happy, though.
He's going to stay with us on the entire race and get his opinions of the 125 East as we take a look at the starting lineup. Chad Reed looking for his 3rd straight in a row. Michael Brown, he got a second in the opener. Buddy Anthonez, he wants to make his mark in Supercross. Boniface, well, he's been awesome lately. Larry Ward, he needs a win to get back in things, and so does Grant Langston if he hopes to get back into the title chase. Jeff Gibson, he's quite a story. This is the first half of his 3rd consecutive try at making both the 125 and 250 mains. An Ironman performance, James Stewart.
Yeah, I remember watching Jeff in the arena cross, and he was going really fast on that. And it's cool to see Buddy Anthonez and him and all the arena cross boys coming out and trying to do Supercross.
Well, we got a lot of old guys in here. 37-year-old at the end of the year. Dowd, Brown, 29, Anthonez, 29 in April, Ward, 32 in August, I believe.
Do you like racing against the older guys, or would you like to keep it an entry class?
No, I like racing against the older guys. I mean, I used to look up to those guys. I mean, watching them coming up through the racing with Jeff Attachments and all those. And I mean, it's an honor to get to race them.
Right now, John Dowd shaking his head, going through the nervousness that one goes through at the gate. What are you thinking about right now, James?
Trying to get through the first corner.
32nd board is up. Our main event from Atlanta, Georgia is about set to get underway as we look at Buddy Antunez and the rest of the crew. The Blimpie Suzuki bike, number 100. Number 16 is John Dowd. 34, Kelly Smith. You see him there on the Yamaha. We're set to go from Atlanta, Georgia, the 125 main. Whoa, 34, Kelly Smith. And carnage in the first turn, including Grant Langston. Langston is down, and he is third to last.
That sucks for Grant Langston. He's riding really good in practice.
A great move once again by Chad Reed. He was actually behind all that mess in the first corner. Car's right, came out in good shape. He's still in contention to win here.
Robbie Horton in third. Look out for Larry Ward. He's in good position as Kelly Smith is our leader. Kelly has not won a 125 Supercross yet. He led St. Louis a few years ago to the last lap and went down with Fonseca.
See, Chad Reed gets bumped all around in the middle right there, so he just decided to lay up. Watch Langston. Goes down, catches the back end of Brown, and Chad Reed rides right around all of it.
Kelly Smith, Robbie Horton, Larry Ward, Michael Brown, Steve Boniface, John Dowd, and Reed. Reed in 7th.
Langston working his way up pretty good, but the win here is, unless he pulls off something amazing, it's not within his grasp. Great opportunity for Kelly Smith. Larry Ward just blew a chance. He was up in there. They let Mike Brown get around him.
Chad Reed's making his way up, and he's looking really good.
I kind of expected Mike Brown to be real aggressive here tonight.
Yeah, it's time for a breakthrough win for Mike Brown. He's been rallying really good in practice, and I think tonight might be his night.
How about Robbie Horton, 355? He's been around a long time.
Yeah, Robbie Horton was another rider I used to look up in the amateur division, and he's doing good here.
You see Chad Reed at the tail end of this train. He's the caboose right now. I have a feeling we're going to see some block passes, some aggressive stuff going on. If any of these guys knock each other down, that's his left riders he's got to pass. He's going to be smart back there and let these laps wind down, get around the halfway point, and then really
Here's the battle for second place, David. Number 3, Mike Brown moves into second place on Robbie Horton, number 355.
I think this race is going to come down to who's in the greatest shape here.
Absolutely. All these ruts, all these rhythm sections really take it out of you, especially this loop section. And I think the mechanics are probably going to let Chad Reed know, hey, you better start making your move before Brown gets too far out front.
Check out your favorite rider. There's Langston, number 111.
Langston has made his way up pretty good here.
Two guys that should be up front, Snell and Barkaloo.
Yeah, another bad luck rider on that one is Snell, number 33. Just underway from Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, Kelly Smith's been out front before, but I don't think to this point he's been that nervous, but he's going to start getting some pressure now. Probably have to start thinking a lot more about what Mike Brown's doing instead of what was carrying him to a little bit of a lead in the first few laps.
Mike Brown is looking to get back into that championship hunt after a 4th-place ride in Minnesota. He finds himself down by 10 points to Chad Reed, so he really needs to break the Australians' win streak. Here comes Brown. Look out, Kelly Smith.
Well, the longer it takes Brown to get around Smith, the better for Chad Reed, who's won the first 2 rounds. He can keep that streak alive here as long as Brown doesn't check out. But right now, Kelly Smith is doing a beautiful job riding his own race, not letting Brown get to him.
Chad Reed made his way up in the 4th place, so it's going to come down to a really good battle.
Mike Brown to the inside. Rubs him a little bit.
Same way he went to the lead in his heat race, the same place. He had to be close enough, and for the last 2 laps, he had messed up that rhythm section and didn't get in there close enough.
And so Kelly Smith tries to hold on to second place with Boniface right behind him, number 36. Kelly Smith, kind of a contradiction in performance. Round 1, 125 East. He gets the whole shot, leads 2 laps, and finishes 14th. In round 2, he has to go all the way to the LCQ to make the main, and then finished in 6th.
It's a smart move by Mike Brown.
Great block passage. Wasn't the brightest thing by Smith to leave the door open that wide, but he had a little bit more of a gap in those laps before it. Maybe thought he had enough room.
Our third member in the booth right now is James Stewart, who is leading the 125 West points. If it came down to Las Vegas, live pay-per-view on May 4th, James Stewart versus Chad Reed and Mike Brown. How would you like that?
I would like to come out first. Those guys are going to be tough, and it's going to be really good, and it's going to be hard to do it. So, but I think I got the speed and the stamina to go the distance.
I liked your reaction when I told you that your title performance is yours to lose in the West.
I don't like those words, but I just got to keep it up on 2 wheels.
Boniface now makes the move for second on Kelly Smith. And not only that, the Chad Reed is on the move. Look out. Reed and Boniface by the bar. Reed on the inside has to deal with some lappers.
Reed just muscled his way in there and forced Boniface to his right a little bit. He had to, otherwise he'd had to let off for those lap riders that were pretty close to his line. So now all he's got to do is get around Smith.
Oh, back and forth we go. This is great racing. Kelly Smith, Boniface 36, and then Chad Reed trying to make it 3 straight wins in a row here in the 125 East. Whoa!
Looked
Kelly
like
Smith
Chad.
doing a little slack.
Looked like Chad had got it done and broken free, and looked like he had it through the whoop section there again, but he keeps messing up at those last 4. That's killing him.
Looks like this track is kind of hard to pass on. You have to do some really good block passing, and we're seeing it tonight.
Your style of riding, James Stewart, you go down a lot, but you're so fast, and especially your corner speed. Is that the difference in the young riders today, corner speed as opposed to the stylist moves of McGrath?
Yeah, I mean, I do my homework during the week, and I watch all these guys, and I study off of them. And my corner speed has been really good, and right there, Chad Reed made the pass home.
Chad Reed finally gets by Boniface. Can he hold the position? Can he take his 3rd straight victory with Boniface and Brown? We'll be coming back to Atlanta, Georgia, as this race unwinds. The wild start of the 125 East, and we'll be back with the finish. We're back in Atlanta, Georgia. Michael Brown is the leader, but Chad Reed is in 2nd place with Boniface in 3rd and Kelly Smith in 4th. Larry Ward is in 5th. Grant Langston now in 6th. Buddy Anthonez in 7th, and Dowd in 8th. Jessamine 9th. Jeff Gibson has moved up to 10th.
Well, Brown was enjoying about a 4-second lead almost at one point. Now that's shaved down to just a little over 3. Chad Reed is starting to close the gap. Last time that Brown went by over the triple, he looked at Reed coming the other way. So he's got his signal area, and he doesn't trust that. He's starting to race behind him right now, and he's racing not to lose. That's the loser's approach.
James, he's got to know that he has to win this race against Reed to get back in the hunt.
Yeah, I think if Chad Reed wins this race, it's going to be hard to beat him. And he got a lot of confidence coming in this race, and we're going to see what it turns out.
You see how close he's starting to get now. The best thing Brown, the best thing Brown could do, and his mechanic giving him the signals, race the track. Stay loose and race the track. You never know what could happen.
Mike Brown is starting to make a lot of mistakes, but I think the track has been worn down, and it's getting hard to get it.
Brown, a 3-time Supercross winner in 125s at Charlotte, Cleveland in 1995, and Pontiac way back in 94.
Look how far Langston has climbed up through the field. This was the battle, Boniface and Smith for a while for the lead, then for second. Langston went down in the first corner, and he's caught him. That tells you how fast he's going out on the track. Might be the fastest guy out there. He's been matching the lap times to Reed.
Oh, Langston goes down in a dangerous position.
Graham was really coming up, and he's doing a really good job.
Hand it to the AMA guy out there, protecting Grant Langston from those riders that could have their heads down right about that point.
Boy, what a tough season. It didn't end well for him last year in the outdoors. Back up front, though, we got a battle.
A great battle going on. Mike Brown with guess who? Chad Reed right on his rear tail.
I don't think the riders even look at the signal board at that point. And if you're Brown's mechanic, you really don't want to put anything on there that you don't want Reed to see because he can look at it. That's the section where Grant Langston went down. You see him still sitting there, so he's out. That's 2 races with no points. Forget about the title now.
Here's Reed to the inside, and there's clean left pass. Chad Reed is on his way to his 3rd straight victory here in the 125 East. In front of the largest Atlanta crowd ever, 69,471.
Now, Reed, all he has to do is be smart and keep that lead.
As we look at Chad Reed's mechanic, let's check out the reader board. That's Larry Alexander for Boost Mobile Yamaha of Troy, number 103. Chad Reed has taken over this race. Less than 4 laps to go. Can he hang on, or will Brown come back as Langston flies through the air? Back in Atlanta, Georgia, Chad Reed leading the 125 East, looking for his 3rd consecutive victory. Joining us in the booth, James Stewart, the 125 West Points leader. What do you think of this guy, Chad Reed?
He's going to be good. I can't wait to race him in the Vegas shootout, but it's going to be a good battle.
You guys are both going to get a lot better by then, too. I would imagine you're going to be quite a bit faster and in better shape. So will Chad. You think you guys can just run away from the field?
I'm hoping, but I'm sorry to hear Grant Langston fell, but he's going to be up there, and Mike Brown's going to be good by then. But it's going to be a really good race out there.
There's always something interesting about that shootout in Vegas. Remember the year Pastrana did not have his best year. His first year 125s, came back and won in Las Vegas. It's a great stage.
Yeah, the last couple of years, the champions haven't won, so I'm going to try to break that this year.
Yeah, you know, it looked like Brown got out of the way so well for the pass that Reed put on him. Almost looked like he just knew it and expected that was going to happen. And since the pass, he's lost time, and he's been looking over his shoulder to see where Boniface is. So Brown is just trying to survive out there. I think he's riding a little bit tight right now, or it would seem so by the way he's riding and looking around behind him.
Chad Reed came into this race leading 18 of the previous laps. That'd be 18 of the 30 previous laps. He gets the board to the mechanic and a thumbs up, and why not? He's pulling away.
Yeah, we don't know what's wrong with Mike Brown. He might be a little tired, or his bike, he might have a couple bike problems, so we don't know, but I guess we'll find out after the race.
Chad Reed still limping with that groin injury and still winning. Yellow flag is out.
You can see the ruts, the line choice these guys have to make out there. They really have to slow down just a little bit in order to still be able to jump all the obstacles. So the pace comes down quite a bit, but the safety goes up as a result of taking their time.
The yellow flag is out for Hatzel, Tyson Hatzel from Florida on the Yamaha, who went down, and the leaders got by cleanly. Chad Reed now just cruising along. Now it goes through your head, James, when you got this good lead. Not far away from victory.
Number 1.
Checkered flag. Chad Reed, 3 for 3 in his American debut.
What a good ride by Chad Reed. He came up from the back, and lately he's been getting pretty good starts. But
yeah, he just proved himself. He can come from behind and start up front.
Boniface back on the podium for his 2nd straight turn, and by golly, I think you got a new career, James, up here in the booth.
Yeah, well, hopefully when I get done racing, I want to do this. I want to come up here and get to talk to you guys. I just want to thank you for having me up here.
Racer X cover boy, too.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of magazines lately, and I can't thank them enough. It's always my dream.
The sportsmanship of Chad Reed and Mike Brown. The Suzuki results of our main event here on the 125s tonight as Reed takes number 3 in a row. Brown back on the podium. Boniface on the podium for the 2nd straight time. A good run by Kelly Smith, his best finish of the year. Buddy Antonez in the top 5. Ward, Dowd, the over 30 crew, down a little bit.
Langston all the way back in 16th, so he can forget about the championship now. Only thing he can do to save the season is try to win that shootout in Vegas and repeat almost what he had going in the Nationals last year and win that championship, but this one's gone.
Yeah, it seemed like Grant was riding really good tonight, and it was a bummer that he fell, but...
Do you think that 4-stroke's going to be a big advantage to have to run against those?
I don't know. I think we're all equal. It comes down to the riding ability, and all the bikes are good, and so it comes down to skills.
Let's go to Davey down on the podium. Davey?
Guys, I'm down here with our 3 races in a row winner, Chad Reed. Chad, that was a tough one. You came from way behind that time to run down Mike Brown.
That was a great race. You know, the start was terrible. When I was lined up on the line, I just didn't feel 100% confident, and you know, everybody went down, and I didn't even know how I stayed up, but you know, I just tried riding a smart race, and you know, I could see Mike there. He wasn't getting away too much, so I kind of just, you know, sat there. You know, the 125 guys, they scare me. You know, they're not afraid to put the wheel in. So you know, I just rode a smart race, and I'm happy to take it again. This Yamaha, you know, 250F is a great bike, and prepared great by you know, Zach, the team, you know, mobiles, everybody.
Real good ride tonight, Chad. Congratulations.
Thanks, David.
Well, our congratulations to Chad Reed, as well as our congratulations for James Stewart here in the booth. I know it's got to be antsy watching races like that and having to sit and look at it and not be on the track.
Yeah, definitely. I want to be out there racing, but it's a good feeling to come down from driving up from Florida to come watch my competition.
Well, you know, we keep talking about this Chad Reed, James Stewart shootout in Vegas. I mean, what is it really? Have you given it that much thought? What's it going to take for you to get that race, and how important is it? I mean, because the Nationals start the very next week.
Yeah, it's really important, but first I want to get my 125 West Coast Championship down, and I think it's going to come down to who gets the greatest start and who stays on 2 wheels.
Well, it'll be interesting, too, the outdoor season when both regions are together on the outdoors. James, thanks again for being with us. We'll be back with more information flying your way through the air in Supercross action as Chad Reed once again victors over the 125/8 field. EA Sports Supercross has been brought to you by Suzuki, the reigning AMA 125 Eastern Region Supercross and Arena Cross champion. Speed Stick, power of nature for protection that smells good. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Taking a look at the Suzuki results page at the beginning of our show, we asked if the Americans could step it up. Well, they didn't make the top step, and Reed continued to dominate David Bailey.
This guy is impressive, and in the first round, he didn't get a great start, but a little bit better than what he had here tonight. Then last week, he started up front. But tonight, coming from as far behind as he did and riding as patient as he did, that guy is going to be tough to beat.
The big thing, number 111, Langston, crashes out of any chance of a title.
Well, I kind of felt like his season was going to go downhill after that first round because that was a poor decision on his part in the heat of the moment there, not to get back into that event. He put the pressure on himself to have to go out and ride a little bit outside his comfort zone, and tonight he paid that price.
Davey is with our Mike Brown.
Well, Mike, for 2/3 of that race, it looked like you had Chad Reed's number.
I did. I got a little pumped up, as all usual, and you know, I just got used to running up there that long, you know. Same as the first race, I got out there and got going and got a bit of arm pump. I think I've got the speed. I just got to get my arms used to it, you know. It's just different out there.
You've been consistent so far in the series, 4th or better every time, but how do you make that last step up to the winner's circle?
I don't know. I can't train any harder, you know. I'm riding hard and practicing with Ricky every day, and it's working there. I think just running in the front, more being up there every lap, you know, than the rest of the year, and I'll just get more used to it.
Still a nice ride.
Yeah, thanks, Davey.
The Suzuki points in the 125 East. Chad Reed by 13 over Mike Brown. One question we asked David earlier, is Boniface for real? He proved it.
He is, and he's probably wondering, man, why the heck did I let Langston by at the last round? That was a couple of points right there that could have helped him in his title run.
Kelly Smith, John Down in 7th. Gebson in 9th. The Iron Man, who makes both the 125 and 250 main events for the 3rd consecutive night. Let's go back to Davey.
Well, Steve, for the 2nd week in a row, you're on the podium. Good job.
Yeah, thank you very much. Last week I finished already 3rd. And this week I didn't feel very good on this track, but it's not too bad.
Is your confidence getting higher every week?
Yeah, that's right, because I had not the same start as last week, a little bit worse, so I make some good move, and everything is all right, even if I didn't feel really good on this track. But I think next race I can maybe battle for the win.
Good job tonight.
125 action from the Atlanta, Georgia Dome. Our next telecast is going to come from the Superdome in New Orleans with our 250 action starting at 1:30 Eastern Time, 10:30 Pacific. Our next show, well, stay tuned for Ohio Valley Conference basketball. Art Eckman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs, and even James Stewart tonight. Thank you for joining with us. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.